Says waiting for Mesa, Sean. Let me go back to
Mesa.
live control room.
Waiting for table, Sean.
Okay. Stream's good. It says it's good. Let me refresh it. Broadcast alert. There we go. You're live.
Goes, yep.
It says we're live. Are we live?
Yeah, man.
We are live. Yeah.
We're
I
live.
gotta mute myself here.
Do it live.
I gotta mute that. There we go. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, what's up, stream?
Hello, everybody. Let me tweet this out.
We're for you guys tuning in. We're all joking here. Usually, we're always like the black shirt crew, and somehow Caleb and I, not even realizing, both wore red shirts, which is kind of hilarious. So
Sean didn't get the memo.
Yeah, Sean didn't get the memo. On that, so.
Nope, nothing was clean today. How do I wear a t-shirt again?
You were in black in the rotation.
Laundry
That's
day.
right, Mondays.
Fin 7, I do Muay Thai. Aye. Muay Thai.
All right.
You have Thai food? Have you said?
No, Muay Thai, not Thai food.
Let's make that full screen. Go, and then oh my god. So then I need to do.
Hey, Mr. Hunter, thank you so much for that, sir.
All my stuff is messed up. Hang on. All right, there's that.
Kate 6.
Oh man.
See, why can't I do that? So like, I can't toggle the live, and
Jason
then.
has Mesa fail for you.
What are you trying to do, Caleb? I don't understand.
All right, so when I pop the
J-Bo.
chat out, I
Splitter.
cannot have the popped out chat
Yep.
on the same monitor as the live stream. It makes it go away.
I don't know.
God, it's such a pain. It happened to me last week. It's a pain.
Because
Yeah.
when I pop it out, it's just two separate windows. There's the live stream, and then there's the.
Yeah, but do you maximize the live stream window?
No.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, you can't do that because you're maximizing it to fill your whole screen. So you can't layer it on top
Yes,
of it because you maximize
why not?
it. Because you can't. You maximize it so it's
I
going to
can
fill your
on
whole
my
window.
I can on everything else. I can layer anything I want. I can put 17 things on top of each other.
That's probably
Hey, Synergy Ghost.
if you don't maximize it. Like if you just take the window and drag it big, you can do that. But if you're hitting maximize within YouTube in your browser, you can't because it's blowing that whole thing up to fill your screen. It's actually taking it out of the browser to fill it up. So you can't do that. You can just like stretch the window, but don't hit the maximize button. You hit maximize, it goes over everything.
And I hate that.
First world problems. That's right, Lee.
I know, right? It's true.
All right.
I've got window problems over here, damn it.
My
with my
shoes.
windows.
Hello.
About feeding people and water.
I need these shoes for my chat. Chat without my shoes.
My glasses.
Now I need
Oh,
this.
man.
All right, I got the rundown up here.
There we go. All right.
Clean up my monitor.
That's sort of okay. I'll take it.
You'll be fine.
I'm good.
All right. Are we ready?
Ready? Hold on, let me close out of this window here. My other side computer.
Hang on, I'm gonna turn the AC down in my house. It's hot as balls in here. It's 72 in here. You think it's
It's hot in here too.
YouTube, I'm sorry. You guys are just like, what in the world?
Yeah, that's just
Will you be walking us through the new raid on day one? Oh, yeah. We'll be all over.
raid lair. Oh man,
No.
I get carried with the WTF Nation guys because those guys they do a 2-stun phase on the Argos. So when challenge comes out, like those guys, as soon as they see the 3 elements, whatever, they know exactly.
I mean, Sean, when we did it with him, man, hell yeah, man. We totally
it was
through that.
ridiculous.
These
Yeah.
guys are the best.
And we're gonna have them on next week.
That's right.
Too.
I'm going to mention that here in a few
WTF?
minutes. Yep. But what's up, everybody? Obviously, thank you here for tuning in and joining us here live. If you've never been here for live recording Guardian Radio, we take it as we're recording the podcast here, so you're tuning into the live recording of the show. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. And, of course, in the chat, keep your comments going. Keep it rolling. Sean, we got the emotes live. I see.
Yep, emotes are live.
Apparently, we have a
Synergy
new
Ghost.
show coming this fall on CBS: Two Titans and a Warlock. I like it.
So we got a good one in store. We definitely had a lot of stuff coming out of the bounty this week, which is pretty awesome. It's not usual that we have news coming out of the bounty or all them kind of talking so candidly about the game. So lots to talk about. So you guys ready?
Ready?
All right, here we go. Guardian Radio episode 247. Welcome everyone to Guardian Radio, the first and longest running Destiny podcast on the net. I am your host, Mark Turcotte, and joining me this week, first up from inside his closet, K-Dub. K-Dub, what's up, dude?
What's up, boys? Hey, man, this has been a really fun week. You know why? We got Billions back. We got all my favorite TV shows came back. Billions came back last week. Silicon Valley came back. and Westworld's coming back in 2 weeks. So like, let's go. It's not football season. I have something to watch again. Yes. But it's been fun. And dude, we've got so many cool things to talk about. A lot of good stuff going on in the community. I'm excited. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. And finally, the man from the heart of Queens, our king of Queens, Mr. Mesa Sean. Sean, what's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Yeah, speaking of sports, pretty bummed weekend because I was expecting my boy Tony Ferguson to fight and hopefully dethrone Khabib. But because of his injury, he couldn't fight, and then because of Conor McGregor's
Mr.
antics.
Yeah, what happened? He got a
Dude,
hit with glass when he threw stuff through a window.
Dude, he's nuts. Him and his goons flew all the way from Ireland, and he picked up a dolly and literally threw it through the window.
I saw the video. He wasn't even on the card, right? He just
all of
came
it.
just to...
Dude, no, he has a friend named Artem Labov or something. He's this Russian dude who's like Conor's best friend. Like he was in Ultimate Fighting Championship, like one of those seasons. He was on the card that night. Supposedly him and Khabib got into words. They're both Russian, and really nothing happened. But I'm telling you, like Conor, like Sean Mick. My last name starts with Mick. Their tempers are ridiculous, So he literally him and his goons. And basically, like, he got arrested for felony criminal mischief, 2 misdemeanors. He's looking at civil lawsuits out the wazoo. I don't know if he's ever going to come back.
It's all staged.
Dude.
It was WrestleMania this weekend, man. They had to at least do something.
Him coming out of the Brooklyn court was not staged at all, in cuffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I saw it.
No, he actually because of the stuff he did, he had to get arrested. He went and he turned himself in. But it was all come on, man.
Nah, dude. When you saw they had people filming inside the bus, and like
I saw it. Yeah,
Rose Namajunas looked a little shook up, and it was other people's there, and like he ruined the night for everybody. So 50% of his fans hate him now, but the other 50 now they really want to see him fight Khabib.
Right.
So I just want to see Ferguson fight. I want to see Ferguson fight Khabib, and that's it. So
nice. Well, let's talk some Destiny here, guys.
Yeah,
what's up, everyone? Thank you here for joining us and making us a part of your week. As always, big what's up to everybody over on YouTube, Sean's YouTube channel. So if you want to tune into the show every week, we do it live on Monday nights. Like I've always said before, follow us on Twitter at Guardians of D. It's the best way to know the start time. Generally, it's 8:30. Last week we did start a little bit late because we were accommodating Pope, because Pope being on the West Coast. But generally it's 8:30, and then once a month we do a late show, kind of like we're doing tonight at 10 o'clock. But next week, definitely 8:30, we will be here live. Remember, you can email us, feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com. Best way to keep in touch with us. We got some great emails coming up a little bit later on in the show. I want to talk about next week. We are going to have some special guests again here on the show. We're continuing the guest train with Mr. Peanut Butter and Toast, also known as WTF Game Nation. Our good buddies over there will be joining us next week, so I'm sure it's going to be a very lively episode. Those guys are great. If you haven't seen them, go check them out on Twitch. And we do have an announcement this week, Caleb, of the winner of our NCAA. This is the 3rd annual Guardian Radio NCAA Basketball Tournament Challenge. And who pulled it off this year, man?
So, it's funny. I forgot last week to announce where we were. We had 2 people in the running, and one person had Villanova, and the other person, of course, had Kansas. I had Virginia all the way back and lost the only 16 seed to lose to, or only 16 seed to beat a 1, and I was still in 3rd place going into last week. But the winner is Vexual Attraction.
Love it.
You gotta be happy just because of the name.
Vexual Attraction.
Vexual Attraction is the winner of our of the tournament challenge. You're gonna get to pick so email us, Vexual Attraction. We need your contact info. And then
Actually, he already sent it to me. I will say,
okay, sweet.
I already got it.
And we need to know which figure you want. And if you've got that mark, that's awesome.
Yep.
Hopefully it's maybe Lord Salad Bar. I don't know. Well,
definitely is.
But
if you're gonna pick a figure, you got to pick Lord Saladin, right? So he picked it.
I've got him right there. What's up?
Yep.
So yeah, that's awesome. Congrats, way to go, and we're looking forward to next year. Do it again.
Nice. So yeah, if you want to be a part of it next year, NCAA tournament rolls around every year. We will be doing it once again for the 4th annual Guardian Radio NCAA tournament. But let's move on here, guys. We have lots to talk about. It's a great week in Destiny, man. The bounty, believe it or not, actually brought out a lot of news. So we're going to talk about that as well as some other things. So let's move on here to our first segment, our news segment that we call Dispatches from the Traveler. All right, guys. Well, in news here, I want to kick it off by talking about something that happens a little bit later on in this week at Bungie. And that was something that kind of I want to say kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think a lot of people were really expecting this, but it has been announced. It was in this week at Bungie, and you probably saw a lot of people on Twitter announcing this. The Destiny Community Summit is happening. And you're probably asking yourself, well, what the hell is the Destiny Community Summit? Well, essentially what it is, and it's kind of described by Deej in this week at Bungie, they've essentially gone out and they've kind of handpicked a cross-section of people from all sides of the community. They're taking people that are positive still, people that are negative, people that have been, maybe kind of on the fence, PvP players, PvE players, all across the board, and they're sending them out to Seattle to basically sit down with the developers at Bungie and, number one, get to play the DLC or some of the DLC that's there, as well as see some content coming in the future and get some feedback, things that essentially aren't locked. And I will say that I'm going, so I did get an invite for Guardian Radio, so I will be one of the people coming from Guardian Radio. Sean got the invite because of the YouTube channel. Some other people we know that are going. I know I saw Mylan Games is going, so there is going to be some representation of the lore community. I know people were a little bit concerned that there was going to be no lore people there, but he will be there. Who else, guys? We know Gathalion's going to be there. I know Pope Bear is going to be there.
Broman, Cammy Cakes.
I didn't see Broman. I just saw Goth.
I think Broman's going. KJ Hovey, I think, is going.
Hovey is there. I saw.
True Vanguard, Amtashed, WTF Game Nation, Toast is going to go.
Okay, I saw Swain's going to be there, so we'll have Swain. So Crucible's got, Swain's going for Crucible Radio. So it's not like this isn't the Destiny 2 reveal event where it's just like everybody under the sun, let's invite. No, this is they purposely are taking basically one person, in some cases two people, from all these different avenues and bring. I mean, heck, even Fuzzle's going from the Destiny Reddit just to represent the Reddit. So it's pretty interesting. And for me, I was trying to think of any other instance where this happened, and like. Me personally, I couldn't think of it, but I saw a lot of people saying Ubisoft did this with the Division, that the Division had this, I forget what they called it, like ETF or something task force to go out and do literally the same thing, sit down with the community and say, hey, how can we make our game better? And hey, for all intents and purposes, it seemed like the Division was able to turn it around. And I mean, you saw so many people jumping on board and playing it. I think this is great, man. I mean, what do you think?
I didn't even tell you guys, but Cosmo actually DM'd me and said, hey, like, we're glad Mark's going. We got to try and make this as broad of a spectrum of people as we can. So, not everybody's going, but we totally understand. That's awesome. And we're gonna talk to you guys about sending us some emails about stuff that you want to see. And Mark's gonna take that feedback there. Obviously, Sean has feedback from his channel too. So we're gonna ask you guys to give us some feedback, what you'd like to, subjects you'd like to be brought up when we have our turn to talk, and Mark's going to be there for us. So, make sure you do that.
Yeah, definitely email us, feedback@theguardiansofdestiny.com, like we always have you do. Send us things that you think are priorities that need to be addressed. And next week on the show with the WTF Game Nation guys, that's what we want to do next week, kind of talk on the air with those guys kind of out loud, and even people in the chat next week. Let's kind of have a little roundtable here with you guys and talk about, what do you want to see kind of coming out of this. Unfortunately, with the DLC, obviously we don't know a release date yet, but a lot of those things, there are going to be changes there, but a lot of things that maybe we would want to see per se aren't going to be able to make it. But that's not just what this trip or this summit is about. This is also about the future, long term, one of the key things is that they want to show us stuff and get feedback before it's locked into place. Right.
Whether that means this next DLC, which we don't have a date yet, the leaks are showing May 8th. That got pulled from GameStop and from Amazon.com. But they also want to show us what's going on down the road. So, we know we're getting a expansion in the fall. So I think this is, more going to be. I have a ton of notes that I'm bringing there with things that I would like to see. But when you talk to developers, you can't just say, I want this, remove this, take this. It's really about player experience. You know what I mean? What makes for a good player experience? Okay, well, I'm thinking back to Destiny 1. There was a reason for me to log in every day to accomplish something. You know what I mean? Then you could kind of deep dive from there. Well, what were some of those things? Well, every day, those tangible bounties I could go pick up from whatever I forgot what his name was, but pick up that bounty and say, all right, I have to go to this. All right, I'm going to go to the Citadel and I'm going to kill those Vex Minotaurs, like things like that where you could kind of deep dive. But it all comes down to the player experience as to what makes for a good player experience, what works now, what's maybe not working, what can be improved. And I give them credit for, this is the 10th time I've been to one of these events, and it was always just, you show up, you get to play the new content, and then just basically go home and say what you want to say about it. But this is where, for the first time, they're saying they want to talk to us and gather feedback. And like you said, Mark and K-Dub, when they're taking people from all ends of the spectrum, not just the yes boys or the positive Pete's like myself who love the game still.
We all are,
play it every day, you know what I mean? They're bringing people who have been highly critical of the game. And I think that's a good thing because they can provide feedback that really irks them. But I just want people to know that myself, Mark, WTF Game Nation, we'll be flying the PvE flag very heavily.
Yes.
Yes. When people saw the Twitch streamers are all going, they're like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's going to be all about Crucible. Listen, and I'm going to bring this up. Look, the game at heart is a PvE looter shooter. People like to shoot aliens to get loot. It comes with the side of having PvP and Crucible. That can be a lot of fun. But, I don't want it to get lost that just because a game is not successful on Twitch doesn't mean it can't be played and be fun by millions of other people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
It's funny. Something that I was going to say, and maybe we'll talk about this next week, and I'll say some of it. But the funny thing is, like you were talking about the bounties and going and picking up bounties and doing all those. But why did you want to have to do? Why did you have to do those things? Why were we so pushed to go accomplish those things every week? Because if there was bounties in the game right now, would you go do them? Probably not. But
the rewards aren't there.
Yeah. Well, and Sean's a bad person to ask. But for the typical gamer that left, why are you not doing that like you did then? And I think the reason is because the power doesn't matter as much like it did before. Yeah. Before, I wanted to be more powerful than everybody else. So when I came up against somebody that maybe was better than me, I would still beat their ass because I was more powerful. Or I had the better gun that they didn't get, or I had the perfect roll, or I had whatever that they didn't have because I put the time in to be more powerful and do it. And I think that's that carrot is we want to chase power. We don't want to just chase, ghost shells.
Yep. Tokens. Well, one thing, speaking of power, man, and I mean, I've talked about it here on the show, definitely, is like one of my favorite times in Destiny was year one. And it was because every week when I ran that raid, that was the only way to get more powerful. And I never knew if that was going to be my week. Is this the week those boots are going to drop and I'll be 30? Or is this the week that I'll be able to go from 28 to 29? And that just enticement brought me back every single week. Not that I wanted to go back to that because, I mean, it was a little bit excruciating. But if they could
It needs to be a happy medium between the both.
They got to find the medium. Because right now it's literally just playing. You're going to get it.
I don't know how many times I did the raid, but I had to buy Galley.
That's right. Hey, I did too, man. It's sitting right back over here.
When Destiny launched, it was impossible to get loot. I remember playing Rock Strikes or Dragon Strikes, whichever it was, that summer, every night, hours on end, trying to get a Hopscotch Pilgrim. Finally got one. But they went from two extremes. One, no loot whatsoever, to then all of a sudden just showering us with loot. You know what I mean? Yep. And that's what they've done. That's the road they've gone with Destiny 2. So hopefully they can mimic a player experience similar to the Taken King, where there's a lot of different things. Like you might like. I want us to be overwhelmed with an expansion. Like, geez, what do I start first? Do I start here? Do I start there? Well, there's a quest here. There's a new NPC here. Like, where do I start? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting, guys. Again, email us feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com. We want to know the big topics that you think we should bring up. And like I said, next week, WTF Game Nation guys will be here. And I kind of want to have that be just part of the episode or the majority of the episode next week, just talking about all the things that you guys, as well as us, think should be brought up next week. And of course, if you could be here live, we'll shoot the link out on Sean's YouTube channel. And 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Join us live if you can. Sit down and we'll kind of go through it all. I think it'll be a good episode and fun as we get ready to join the summit. And it'll be interesting to see kind of what comes out of that too. Like I said, it's a whole just group of people that are just from all different sides. So it's going to be some interesting conversations, I'm sure, happening. But let's move on here to this week at Bungie, guys, because we have a lot kind of in here. And, we had a bounty. The bounty returns, first time ever on PC, which is kind of interesting. And the game, of course, was Mayhem, which, by the way, I got to say, I loved having Mayhem back. I had an absolute blast this week.
My shoulder is sore from throwing hammers. Just saying.
My shoulder's sore from shutting down.
Throwing swords.
No, I'm the guy that I only play Mayhem as one class and one subclass. Night Stalker, Orpheus Rig, and knowing everyone shut. I don't even care about kills. It's just,
Sean,
as soon as I hear the hammer sounds of the Dawnblade go up,
I hate you, man, dude.
The fun police, man.
I was playing as
so
the
much fun,
Dawnblade. This is the first time actually in Destiny that I finished my Crucible bounties on all 3 characters. Hadn't happened until this week because I was having a blast playing Mayhem. But man, there were matches I'd go in. There's three stalkers in there, man, and it is. I will say this though. Come on, man.
Do notice the speed increase, especially with the supers, because there were times where I was sure I got that Dawnblade or Sunbreaker out of his super, but no, they're like the Dawnblade. As soon as you hit jump while you're just about to go midair, you're off, and this and that. Flying, so a lot of times I whiffed my tethers because they were too fast and they ran right around. You know what I mean?
But Mark, you had some fun with the shields though, didn't you?
I did actually. Yeah, the Sentinel was great because I hadn't played too much of the Sentinel since the Go Fast. And I love that. I was going out there and being able to just block because you can basically take. Sean, go through what is the counter to the supers. You can take a golden gun with the shield, right? Just one golden gun, but a second one will take you out.
I never play on my Sentinel, man, but I know people have said that you can go fun police with the Sentinel. Yeah. I did run into once or twice a Sentinel running Ward of Dawn, and they would pop in and out of it and stuff, and my tether wouldn't do anything to them unless.
Because, dude, I was doing the one where you basically get 2 shield throws, so you can have that plus then you pop up the shield. So you basically have not that it's necessarily Nova Bomb, but you have 2 shields basically that are able to toss as well as block. So I mean, in Mayhem, it's great because half the time people are jumping around. I think you can take one shot of a golden gun, and then the second one will take you down. But hey, you can at least get the one block and then try and toss a shield and see if you can get it. But
hey, we were talking about meta some last week and talking about guns, and we'll talk about that here again in a second. But somebody just put in the chat about Outbreak Prime. How do you think Outbreak Prime would be right now with the meta the way that it is?
Oof. It'd be amazing. It'd be ridiculous. Yeah. Yep. It'd be Vigilance. It'd be a counter to Vigilance.
It would be, man. I'm telling. Which, by the way, I know we had talked before. I know, Kate, that was the one gun all the way back to the D2 reveal. That was the one gun you wanted to be great. And even last week, I was kind of like, Vigilance is okay.
I said it the week before 1.14. I said the wing, baby. I said the wing is coming.
What threw me off last week was just it's slower, but it doesn't matter, man. That thing, like one body shot and it just rides right up to the head. 3 shots, they're done. It's great, man.
By the way, I meant to mention this last week too, and I didn't ask you guys. Have you tried the Sturm and Drang combo?
Not yet. I'm waiting for that exotic pass.
It is redonkulous though, because the sidearm, when you get kills, it overloads your mag on the Sturm, and then the Sturm 2-taps people.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's sick.
It's gonna get better, man. It's gonna get better too.
Sick. Yeah.
Yep. Which is great. But let's go into some of this. So basically the way the bounty played out this week, Bungie won 9, lost 5, which, the team they had, who they had? They had Cosmo, they had Dylan, some other guys. So it's like, usually that would be a great team. They probably would win them all. But when it comes to Mayhem, I mean, Mayhem is just craziness. So it's like, I don't care how good you are.
It's Mayhem.
It's literally Mayhem. But they won. They came out in the positive, so 9-5. But also sitting there was Josh Hamrick and senior Crucible designer Kevin Yanis. And basically what they did was they went through with Deej sitting there in between, bringing up questions from the chat. So we're going to kind of dig through some of these because they were kind enough to put them in the update, which was kind of
the reasonable questions.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. So I'm going to go through each of these because this is great stuff in here, man. So the first question was, in regards to time to kill, it's a pretty popular opinion with the community that the TTK should be decreased. Do you have any plans on looking into this issue further? They said the Sandbox update was called Go Fast. Will the next be called Kill Fast? And Hamrick said, we know this one is one of the big items that the community would like to see. We're already coming at it from different angles. With update 1.1.4, we wanted Guardians to feel more powerful and get more chances to showcase that power. He said these changes, including making weapons more lethal. The next Sandbox update will have a good buff to exotics. He says these changes will be a direct response to exotics don't feel exotic enough. Some of these weapons are getting damage buffs that can have a direct impact on the average TTK of an encounter. So he's kind of saying not necessarily that across the board there's going to be an increase in the TTK, but they're thinking that by increasing or buffing the exotics, that's where you're going to see the time to kill. Because, man, I'm do the Vigilance wing.
But just in general, they're taking the reverse approach they did in Destiny 1, which is great. And he said it in that little Vidoc, however you pronounce it, where when something would become hot in Destiny 1, it usually got nailed back in. Right. But instead, bringing things up to that, and where he says bringing Vigilance Wing up to, bringing other exotics up to where Vigilance Wing is, because, let's face it, exotics should be better than legendaries, because right now in PvE, I mean, most of PvE, I'm using legendaries for everything. I throw in exotics if I just want to have a little fun with the sunshot or Prometheus lens and stuff. But for the most part, they're not generating orbs because we don't have masterwork exotics just yet. But yeah, the more they bring everything up to be better than the legendaries, the more that I think we'll use them.
Yeah, I mean,
the
death of Hawkmoon was AS Luna because you could basically have the same gun as a legendary. Mm-hmm. So, that shouldn't happen. So that's the type of thing that they're talking about when somebody asks about if Vigilance Wing is going to be, left to reign supreme. It's kind of like Thorn back in the day, right? Mm-hmm. Thorn was everywhere. And they had to nerf the crap out of Thorn, and then nobody ever used Thorn again. But so instead of that, I think the thing to do is exactly what they're doing is saying, wait, no, hang on. Let's bring the other stuff up so you have a counter.
Yep.
But on the subject of TTK, I got to say, I hope to holy moly that they don't make the TTK COD because you know what I'm saying? I just that because when that happens, then because you have to have the ability to be able to counter or escape somehow if somebody gets a jump on you. And we got an email coming later, which is really good about this subject. So I'm not going to go too far on this, but they got a really fine balancing edge to do on TTK, because if it gets too short, it's just the first one that sees the other one wins. And that's not how it should be.
Well, that's what I mean. That's kind of what they're saying, dude. They're not right. Like, the way I think the way the vigilance is, like, that's almost a sweet spot. Those three shots, you're done. I mean, the next question asks, and we just said it, will they allow it to reign supreme? Said nope, we're not going to nerf it. We're basically going to bring everything else up, and I wouldn't see anything being much faster than a 3-shot kill outside, of course, of power weapons. I mean, those should be a 1-shot. A shotgun, a sniper, whatever. Yes, you hit that shot right. It should be that way. But your primaries, I don't think will ever really go beyond much quicker than what the vigilance is at right now, because if it did, then you're going to have start moving towards those COD type levels, especially if they're just legendaries and not necessarily exotics. Right. Next question is, when will the stream for the expansion 2 and season 3 be? The guy says he's liking the Go Fast update so far. Excited to see what's next. Each says, we'll be back on stream later this month to talk about the next content updates for Destiny 2. We'll show you where you're going next, who you'll meet when you get there, and how you'll share new activities with your friends, and what you'll be able to chase in the Crucible to prove your prowess. My guess is they're probably going to wait till after the summit would be my guess, or maybe even while the summit's going on. Maybe that's they do that a lot, where they reveal the trailer at PAX or whatever, and everybody's at PAX or E3. They're at the convention, and then boom, they just do it right there.
Remember one of those streams that they did when they had everybody out there and Data was in the front row and they had everybody in the crowd behind them?
Yes. Yep.
They should do that. They should have the community summit in the background as they do a stream and they talk about stuff, whatever they bring it up. That would be sick.
Yep.
I think we're getting it any day now, because the House of Wolves came out May, I think it was 19th of 2000 or May 16th, one of those. We're due for a trailer by now, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I bet we'll get a trailer and like some sort of they always love to update a web page with all the details and feature benefits of that DLC. We got to be getting it soon, man. And then they'll probably do a live stream, with them kind of playing through maybe like a story mission or something like that,
I mean, we started getting, who was it? Was it Hamrick or Christopher Bear? It was Christopher Bear that put out that very cryptic tweet that had something to do with Rasputin. Yeah. So it started, and we had the picture. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet of the Big Show, WWE's The Big Show. He had the shirt on with the, Rasputin logo.
Warmind logo. Yeah.
Or the Warmind logo. So it's coming, man.
They're getting because Bungie retweeted that and wrote questions or something like that. Yep. So they're starting the tease train right now. So it's got to be coming, I think.
Yep. Let's see. Next one is, I'd like to know which elements of the recent and future updates the team have enjoyed working on the most, or which ones they are personally most excited for. And Kevin says, with seasonal Crucible ranks, we're looking to serve many goals. Most important to players like me, something to chase or something to set goals for every season. There is a reason to play, and there is a reason to perform in the Crucible. You'll earn unique rewards for things like time commitment or performance. He says, I'll be back on a future stream to talk more about the ranking systems of Valor and Glory. Which, of course, if you guys remember, those are the new systems coming to the Crucible. And I think that's great, man, to have a goal for the season. I mean, this is a totally opposite game of this, but or I mean, hell, we can even say Paragon, but a game like Overwatch. Overwatch has its seasons, and every time the seasons start, you play your 10 placement matches, you get placed, and then you have your ranking of 14,000 or whatever, and it can go up and down, and your goal is to get as high as you can before the end of the season. Destiny could easily do something like that, where it's then, depending on what rank you get, then you get those visible whatever, different armor ornaments and things like that.
I honestly think they should do that with Iron Banner. I think that they should have
That's a great thing, yeah.
Go through Iron Banner for the whole week.
A mini season.
Or whatever, right, a mini season, and however you fared with Iron Banner, you get either a reward or an aura or a something that ranks you and does something that people know and sees that you kicked ass in Iron Banner. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Other than just the ornaments.
Because, I understand, some people say, oh, well, I don't have the time to play. Well, you know what? For those that do have a crap ton of time to play, they should, in my opinion,
like this
be able to reflect that. There should be something that reflects that. I played Iron Banner for 1 day. I played Iron Banner for 1 day, and I accomplished every goal that I wanted to in the game. You did. That's right.
I really did.
You talked about it. I know. Yeah. Crazy.
It can be done.
Let's see. Next question. I really wish D2 weapon systems returns to primary, special, and heavy. It was better than the current one. Is my wish reasonable? And Hamrick said, we know that you want more control over your loadouts. You can expect weapon slot changes in the future of Destiny 2. We are actively working on a new system right now, and we will have more to show and tell this summer. So this is coming with this expansion. This is...
Yeah, it's down the road. Yep. I had an interesting conversation with asking my subs about it, like when I talked about this, because me personally, I'm so used to it now. I like the system. Hold on, before I get ragged. I like having the options to go into PvE or PvP and go with a pulse and a hand cannon, or a scout and an auto rifle or something like that. But I do get why the PvPers prefer the old system where you had a shotgun, a primary, and then your heavy and stuff like that. If there's a way they could either figure it out so that they could have both systems in there, or what if they started throwing some of those fusion shotguns and snipers in the energy slot? Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll have to see what magic they do. I don't see them reverting back. What do you guys think of the system? I like the system the way it is right now. What do you guys think?
I've gotten used to it, Sean. Honestly, especially when it comes to PvE, I have like my positive outlook in my energy slot, because I know that's the energy. And the minute you see an enemy with the shield up, you just pop that out. And even if anybody ever watched me play Crucible with Destiny 1, like back when we used to stream a lot, I always use my primary anyways, or my sniper. That's the type of player that I am. So for me, I just went right into it. I was never a huge hardcore Crucible style player. I was never running around with the annoying shotgun guy. That was never me. I was just never that.
The Mapador or the Felwinter's Live.
So to me, I've had no problems with it.
I think it has to do with play style. So I think the current way that it's done is better for the more different play styles. So the old play style, you basically had two. You either tried to stay back and shoot people at range, or you were running around like a maniac with a shotgun. That was it. That was all there is.
Yeah, you're right.
So with this, there's totally different play styles. You can run around and be a maniac for a little bit and then go, wait a minute, I can't do that now because I don't have certain ammo. Now I need to switch up a little bit. So there's more to your play style and what goes into how you're going to play that map, whether you're playing control or whether you're playing competitive, or whether you're playing whatever it is. You have to adjust your play style a little bit more based upon how the weapons work and how the ammo drops. So the changes that they made with the ammo drops helped immensely. So now if you want to use that power ammo, or you want to use more energy stuff, you can. What's happened with the current meta is the kinetics have kind of died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot more guys running around with either shotties or just even swords. I've seen a lot of swords. I saw Sean. I think it was one of your streams or one of your videos. That's just running around with the sword as much as you can.
Because once you go with Dawnblade, the changes to the glide jumps, I feel so much faster. And you really notice it when you go into third person. So when you go into third person, you get your sword, and then you just start do those slight taps, jump, glide, jump, glide, jump, glide, and you just like become annoying sword guy. But I don't think it's overbearing. I've been being lately in regular Crucible, with my my two partners in crime, C Minnow and Versace Viper. I've been getting sniped, which is new.
Me too.
When I get sniped, I don't complain. In D1, I hated it, but I get sniped. I'd get sorted here and there, but I really don't think power is an issue right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't really feel like everyone's camping for because with rockets you get one rocket. In Mayhem, it's all power. I'm just spamming rockets like crazy. But regular Crucible, I'm using my Vigilance Wing and my beloved Manananan.
You know why?
You could really use whatever you want.
I was going to say, you know why power ammo isn't a problem is because it seems like everybody gets a shot at it. You know, like you may kill somebody and they happen to have power ammo and then you can pick it up. You know, and it's like, okay, now I have the power ammo. Where before, if you weren't actively looking to get power ammo, half the time I just never got it because it was like either somebody on my team got it already or just the other team was set and ready to get it. And it was so scarce that it was kind of rare to have it for me. Where now it's like, all right, I at least know at some point in every match, I'm going to get power ammo a few times because either I'm going to grab it off the wall because it's spawning quicker, or I'm going to get a kill on somebody else, so they're going to drop it, and I'm going to rush for it, and I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to have it now. So it's, I think it's kind of pushed the non-power.
I think they found a good balance as far as how the ammo drops and how those things work. I do not think that they're going to go to primary, secondary, heavy. I just don't think though.
Now, you know, we've talked about it before, and it would be interesting if they did the COD thing where they gave you like 10 points, and it was like, you know, a rocket launcher or a shotgun are 5 points, and a pulse, you know, is a 3, and a hand cannon is 4, or whatever it is. So you can pretty much equip whatever you want, but it all depends on, you know, those. You have to just spend those points. It might be a little bit too complicated. I mean, that's one of the things that Destiny has kind of prided itself on, being a little bit more easier to jump into and not have to explain all that stuff. So that might be a little bit too confusing for people. But, you know, of course, you're tuning into the show, you probably get it, but there are people that might not understand that system enough, and it might just be a little too much. But I think that would be cool if they did something like that. Let's see. Let's talk about this next question. What is the exact design philosophy that lets you determine when a balance change is good? What testing procedures do you follow in order to implement a change? And they said, I think people in general want to know why some changes seem to take so long compared to other titles. And Hamrick says, at any given moment, we're working on numerous Sandbox updates that follow the same pipeline. First, we set goals for what we want to accomplish with any given update. For example, the purpose of 1.1.4 was to directly affect the pace of combat and to allow for more powerful and heroic moments. It says in Season 3, we'll be delivering a round of exotic tuning intended to make them feel more exotic. It says, with our goals defined, we make the changes, playtest it, iterate for as long as we can. And it says Destiny is a huge game with tons of different areas that may be affected in different ways, both positive and negative, from any given change we make. Our test team also plays with them and helps us hunt for anything that we may have broken. And finally, those changes get packaged up into the update, get cert, and then get rolled out to us. And then Kevin says it's all priority, so it all just depends on, you know, they only have a finite number of people. It's all about prioritizing. And so he says in some cases, like weapon slots, that's going to take some time. The bigger change, the more focus, and people are required to get it shipped. So a little bit of insight into what they do. It's, you know, it's interesting to see. You have to do that. Remember the big list? I think it's still over. Cosmo's constantly updating it on Bungie.net of the list of changes that the community wants. And it's always in flux. I mean, there's no way possible that, what is there, maybe 15, 20 things that are on that list that they could just fix them all and pump it out in one update. Like, it's impossible. Right.
It's not going to happen.
No. So they got to prioritize.
Like, they're going to make some changes for this next DLC, but I think the real change is going to be, obviously, they're going to take in TTKing. The TTKing of Destiny 2 is going to occur slowly over time, but we're really not going to feel like the drastic effects of it.
And we don't mean time to kill.
Until, exactly. Taken King. Until the fall, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because these changes right now, what they've rolled out in 1.1.4 and the one before that, if they rolled it into the next DLC, the DLC, I think, would hit to have more of an impact, I think, but time is not on their side. So I like it that, you know what, we have all this month, and hopefully the DLC comes out next month. We have all this month to have fun with how all the changes to all these weapons. I mean, scout rifles are better, hand cannons are better, pulse rifles are better, everything's better, so that when they roll out the DLC, they can figure out, all right, what's the next thing we need to kind of fine tune just in terms of like balancing and just in terms of weapons, you know?
Everybody has to remember too, they have every data point on every gun that's used every single day. So they know what's being used, what's not being used, what's getting the most kills, what's not, they know. So they're very, very aware of where the meta is more than anybody. And they'll make the tweaks needed to be made, you know, based upon those numbers, because it speaks the truth, you know?
Yep. Let's see, next one here, we'll skim through just a little bit. He said they ask any plans for the development team to get more directly involved with community feedback. And he doesn't mention in here, but obviously the summit is a part of that. But he says they're always looking for new ways to get their designers socializing with players. So like the Bungie bounty he brings up obviously is a good thing, which is what we're reading through right now. Josh Hamrick says, you know, follow him on Twitter, or even Kevin. We've even said before, follow Christopher Barrett. Let's see what else he says. Kevin says, we've heard the feedback from the community that they want more involvement or at least more of a conversation. He says, we're actively looking at ways to do that with the stream and even in-game. He said, we know there's a big desire for testing builds early, and that's something we're thinking more about. Could you imagine if they do? I mean, the game's now on PC.
Yeah.
You don't normally see test servers in a console game. Like, I'm trying to think of a console game that does that, and frankly, I can't. I mean, I think just the way the platforms work, like both Sony and Microsoft, I mean, hell, even throw it out to like Nintendo platforms, they got to go through certification because the idea of these closed systems of
it would leak
those consoles
so fast.
Is
So
you
fast.
buy that disc, you buy that thing, you put it out, and well, not even that, dude. It's good to go. Like you're ready to roll.
Yeah.
Where
right.
on PC, because everybody can have different graphics cards and memory and all that. The way that those systems work is they want people testing it because there is such a broad spectrum and it's so open. You know, there's nobody that is just kind of locked into it like the systems on the consoles are. So you see many MMOs do it. I mean, hell, Overwatch I mentioned earlier does it. Diablo does it. You have all these Blizzard games that do it. Blizzard has a crap ton of test servers. So it wouldn't surprise me if Bungie at some point, even if it's not on the console side, says, hey, we're going to create a test server on the PC, and we're going to start putting builds in there with different sandboxes and all that. And I think that's kind of what he's alluding to, because that's something that a lot of games do that, just because it's a great way to test things and see what's broken and hear feedback right from the community. So, I mean, what would you guys think of that if we had a test server on PC for things like that?
Well, we had that with Paragon, and we did some of that stuff. We got to play private stuff, and from the Epic guys before Fortnite blew up all to hell. But it was the most fun that we ever had in gaming. Me personally, I shouldn't say we. Me personally, because we got to get to know those guys. We got to give direct feedback and play at home in our normal environment. And it's just the best environment to really learn that stuff, because when we were at the D2 reveal, we were playing, and that was great and it was amazing. But man, when you're not in your own environment, everything is a little bit different because you're using different monitors, different controllers, screens. Everything is different. When you're in your home environment, you know exactly what this is going to look like when this thing launches. So I'm like, oh well, that's not that great here, or this is great, or it's just the best scenario that they could do if they want to get honest, true feedback from players, because they're seeing it the way they're going to see it at home.
Yep. Well, I mean, that was when we did that. That was kind of like a private type thing.
It was
like Overwatch. I mean, I saw somebody in the chat says they like how Overwatch does it. Like what they'll do is they'll announce a hero, that Bridget was the last hero. Hey, Bridget's coming. She's on the test server. Go. And people just, it's open. It's a public test server. You're not really making progress in your real game, but you can go test the character, and they can make changes on the fly. And then when they feel she's tuned and ready to roll, all right, let's push her out in the main game, and boom. Like that, I think if they were able to say, hey, we're the Vigilance Wing, like let's take Vigilance Wing for an example, and hey, we're going to tune it this way and do that, and then suddenly they find that, or Prometheus Lens is a perfect example.
Prometheus Lens,
that's something that would have been on the test server, like, oh god, like we can't put this thing out, and they would get it just to where it needs to be, and then push it
Let's
out.
test serve laser tag, right?
Yeah, I mean that's that, man. I think he's alluding to that. I think that's something they're definitely going to look at.
That'd be awesome.
Let's see. He says, when can you tell us about solutions for your loot system, like random rolls, perks, mods, depth to weapons and armor and stuff like that? Hammer says, of course, he's not a investment designer, but he says they all know that we want more reasons to play. He says, we know you want to be more excited about the possibility of any given drop again. We know you want to look forward to hopping on night after night for a shot at something you want to get your hands on, and that you look forward to the adrenaline rush of when it finally happens. We're actively working to get there together. We'll talk more about our plans when they are playable or in a playable state that we think is stable.
A big thing for the investment system, just in general, is you could hit max power so easily, and even when they bumped up the the overall level cap from 20 to 25. I was like, why did they do that? You know what I mean? Because I hit it within like 2 hours with just one of those medallions or whatever, for bonus XP and stuff. But the bottom line is, I feel like the power level to hit 335 was way too fast. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They need to really drag that out, because you know what? If you put a number in front of us, we'll grind for it. You know what I mean? And if I feel like certain activities like trials or the raid, or even don't have all the activities get powerful gear. Because right now there's too much stuff. You could just go play Crucible, you get powerful gear. You go do public events, you get powerful gear. And granted, yes, they want to give it to everybody, but maybe, you know what, for the casuals, there's maybe only 2 things they could do. Like
I was
public
gonna say,
events.
I don't know if I agree with you on this.
All right, hold on. Let me finish point.
Yeah.
So like for the hardcores, if they do every part of the most difficult activities, they can maybe get to max power a little bit faster. But right now, there's a zillion avenues that you could do every week, whereas back in Destiny 1, it still was fast, but I don't think it was nearly as quick as, at least for when D2 launched and when the first DLC hit, I was max power level like within a week. You know what I mean? On all 3 characters.
So I agree with you that there are more avenues to get the max level, but it takes longer because you have to max level each gun, right? And then you have to, so then you've got one loadout.
Right.
And then you need to max level any other gun. So I need to max level my shotgun. I need to max level my pulse rifle. I need to max level my hand cannon. I need to max level my scout rifle. I need to max level all these different things. So you've got all those things you need to do in order to stay 335, right? You got to max level everything there. Then you need to max level everything that you're going to use. You're going to change your loadout for PvE and PvP. So I think while I agree with you that there are more ways for the casual to get the max level, absolutely true. I got the max level like that because we had people to play with and we could do raids. And we got to do raids and I was max level like bam. Like and everything just kind of, it was easier for me with the engram system way it worked and the way that we were able to get max stuff. I think it was easier for us who had, again, I'm in a clan. We have,
so you're talking
fans.
Destiny
we have people
2
who
right now?
No, I'm talking D1 versus D2.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Sorry. I should have clarified that. So D1 versus D2, I think it was easier for us in D1 to get max level, whereas D2, my Titan, who's my main, is I think 334.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I don't care to go, okay, I need one more point. I need
because it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean,
right.
But like Sean was saying, dude, when he was saying it's easier and technically faster, all you got to do is your milestones every week.
Correct.
I mean, how many milestones? You got the Crucible, you got the K1.
You have the clan engrams. The clan engrams, I think, are a little on a silly side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just
granted,
so
I
many...
like them, but at the same time, she's like Hawthorne just dishing out 330s like it's candy. Like real quick.
Right.
Because once you hit 330 overall, then she's going to start giving you 330s, and
maybe that's my issue. Is maybe it's the little 5 I'm losing my mind. Yeah, the mods. Maybe it's the mods that I'm having the problem with. Is so because it was different, we didn't have to deal with that. Maybe it's the mods that makes it different. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like it seems like you have to play longer to get the max than you did before.
Yeah. Well, before it was more tied into RNG, and the RNG was just go run the raid, and you knew you were going to get something. You were going to get either a helmet or boots. Maybe it wasn't exactly what you needed to completely fine tune you, but you were guaranteed to get that. Now, like you were saying, it's like, maybe you always run around with a pulse rifle, and you hit that milestone, and you get an auto rifle, and you're like,
right.
Oh, I don't want a 335 auto. I want a 335 pulse. So I got to now keep playing till I can get that 335 pulse so I can level up my 330 or my 329 or whatever it is, So
I will say this too, real quick. As far as a lot of people don't like the clan engrams, I don't think those are going away because not everybody has every week that they can play a crap ton. But if you're in a really good clan, and they are, then you had to miss time and it sucks you didn't get to play that week, but you still can log in and be rewarded because you're in a clan of people that are accomplishing stuff. So I don't mind the clan engrams at all, man. I really think it's something like if I have a really crazy busy week at work, which I do, and my kids have issues, which they do sometimes, and I don't get to play that week, I can still log in on Wednesday or whatever and pick up a few things and like, okay, cool. My dudes are doing stuff and it's awesome. I don't have a problem with clan engrams. I really don't.
Yeah. Real quick, too, just close-eyed visuals, he says in the chat. He says that you should have to do endgame stuff to get close to max light.
Yeah, that's kind of my point.
Like pretty much with D2, someone could have gone in and just done the Crucible milestone and the Heroic Strike milestone, and that's it.
And public events.
Or not even Heroic, just public events and Crucible ever since D2 launched, and they'll be max light. That's it. Yeah, and that's something's not right about that, I don't know. Let's see. What else? Are there any plans to introduce new elements, classes, subclasses, or weapon types in the future? And Hamrick says yes to some of these. From my desk right now, I can look around and see new hotness on several people's screens. We'll be showing off a lot of this stuff in the months to come. So a little bit of excitement. Don't know necessarily what that is that's going to be coming.
Everyone took that and ran with new subclasses and new classes.
Right.
I bet that it won't be new subclasses. I bet we'll get a new class, and it'll have 3 subclasses to it. That's what I bet.
Maybe.
But not this next DLC, though. I mean the fall.
Yeah, this is something down the line.
Yeah. But the thing is, if they do that, they have to give us a 4th character slot.
Right, yeah, oh yeah. Yep.
I'm not deleting one of my characters.
I'm not deleting any
right.
either, no.
No, absolutely right.
This one's kind of interesting. It says, how did the Crucible team decide on random game modes instead of letting players choose what mode they want to play like we had in D1? And Kevin says the biggest driver of that conversation was trying to improve matchmaking times and connection quality. Says it also allows them to better supply certain moods. As you've seen with 1.1.4, we've reinforced these moods. Quick Play is now delivering the 4v4 low intensity that they intended, and competitive is driving the 4v4 high intensity. He says, but the biggest driver is definitely connection quality and connection times. More people in the pool means more good connections, which is kind of what everybody was figuring. You know, you kind of almost wonder, like, why did they decide that from the beginning? With the player base that was there in the original Destiny and the amount of people that were playing it, why would you say, oh, man, like, we need to make sure we don't have these playlists vacant? Like, why wouldn't you just...
If there's too many playlists, you're going to have some playlists where everyone is, and then other playlists are empty.
I mean, yeah,
like
I get that, but...
So, like, if they had Clash, Supremacy, Control, Rumble, Mayhem, right? I'd be in 2 playlists. I'd be in Control, and I'd be in Mayhem. I'd never go near Clash ever again. And that causes matchmaking problems. I remember towards the end of Destiny 1, you know, like my friends Chris and Versace, we loved Skirmish, you know? And the week Skirmish wasn't there, we were forced to play Salvage, but we hated Salvage. So we just went back to whatever it was, whether it was Supremacy or Control. You know what I mean? So I called that from a long time ago where it had to be because of matchmaking. Because if you put too many playlists,
but Sean, that's you just said at the end of Destiny 1. I'm talking. Why wouldn't you do this towards the end of Destiny 2 or implement it now? When Destiny 2 came out, man, you got 4 million people playing. Give them all the options. Let them jump in. You'll see what playlists are there.
I'll tell you exactly why.
You know?
Because if you give them, so if you do it the way that they did it, all right. So if you will only give them a limited, I agree with you. It should be, we should have all these different things to do. Like pick the playlist that you want to be in. The way that they did it caused some of the problems because if there's a playlist that you don't like, what are you going to do? You're just going to not play. You're just going to not play. So then people back out and they don't play. And then when you don't play for a week, are you so geeked next week to go, well, you know what? I was fine not playing this week. Maybe I don't play next week. So I think it's a mistake that they made. But, it's just one of those things where I think options is always what we want to have as players.
Yeah,
give me options.
Well,
so yeah,
those options are coming in May, man, with private matches. Go. So that's what they bring it up. So we are confirmed yet again. Private matches are coming in May, and again, that's for everyone. So even if you don't decide to buy the DLC, you will be getting private matches. So that's some good news there. It says, looking back at Destiny 1 for inspiration, are you looking back at Destiny 1 for inspiration, or are you trying to find a new way forward? What do you currently consider to be high priority for PvE and PvP? And any hints for random roles or special slot? Pretty please. Josh says, D1 and D2 are 2 unique and helpful data points. Neither game is perfect. Both have plenty of room for improvement. It's usually helpful to be able to directly compare and contrast the two and see what worked and what didn't. Ultimately, the goal is just to make Destiny 2 the best Destiny we've ever made. So I think that's a nice little dodge of the answer to that question. He's just kind of like, nah, yeah, we're looking at them both, and they're both kind of good, and we just want to make it the best Destiny we've ever made, yeah.
Right.
Like, didn't answer the question. But I mean, how could you really answer that? So
no, you can't answer it.
Yeah.
You can't.
And the final one, he says, why can't mobility stat increase your sprint speed? He says, I'm a hunter. I need to be a ninja. And Josh says, with 1.1.4, the goal was to get back to more of a Destiny 1 style of movement, especially the movement you're working with mid-combat. Sprint speeds weren't changed for D2, and therefore it wasn't crazy high priority to hit those. With that being said, we called it the Go Fast update for a reason, and it was absolutely one of the potential changes to test with on our list. As we dug into making changes to it. We ran into some technical challenges that kept it from being possible to get up in time to test with. It's something they'll continue to consider in the future, though. He says, what I can tell you is we buffed standard movement quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, like everyone thought that we were going to go in and you were going to run fast just by running.
Right.
But all the speed is in the jumps. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, like the hunters, everyone's complaining that the hunters didn't really get anything. They're fast and annoying enough. Like, all right, I'm going to get flamed for this one. In PvP, there's the Invis hunters with swords. Yeah. So annoying. It's ridiculous.
I agree. Yeah.
So I feel that if I'm on my Titan and I'm rocking Dune Marchers, or if I'm on my Warlock and I'm, wearing Transversive Steps, I feel a little bit faster, But hunters.
Well, that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason people are complaining about hunters are slow and they're dead now. Yeah, no, you have Invis. You're supposed to be sneaky. You're not supposed to be fast.
Yeah.
So it's just a different play style. So if that's not your play style and you're hunter, I'm sorry, go switch to play something else. Yeah.
So that was it, man. I think this is great. I wish they would do things more like this. I mean, this is you see a lot of people always bring up Digital Extremes and what they do with Warframe, and they do like a weekly stream where they just kind of sit down and talk. I mean, some of these questions, they weren't necessarily like, tell us what's in the next DLC or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I like the one question where it was just like tell us what was the one they said. Crap, which one was it? What is the exact design philosophy that lets you determine when a balance is a good change? Like that's like, give us some insight into the creation of what you guys did. Why did you make this decision? And how are you seeing? Is it working? Is it not working? And what are you going to do to change it? Questions like that are great to hear it coming directly from their mouth. And this community's been asking for transparency. And to me, this is great. I think this is, if they can continue, I think it's a great way to do it with the bounty, because then it's like, okay, there's something going on that's exciting for the community on the platform that they're playing the game on. Everybody can get something, because the Bungie bounties were always fun when they would do those, and couple in this, so it's giving people an incentive to watch and get some insight into the creation of the game. I think it's awesome, and hopefully they'll continue doing that. Let's see. Talking about the Crucible, Derek Carroll was in there talking a little bit about that, talking about Rumble. And he did say that they are indeed lowering the player count to 6. I think, we talked about it last week. They agreed with the majority of the community, I think, that said, hey, 8 is just a little too much. And coming in with that, it was announced in this update as well that Iron Banner was going to be returning. However, that has now been canceled due to a last-minute bug, which they didn't really get into the bug that much. So
yeah, I'm bummed they didn't tell us what the bug was.
I know. It was going to be 6v6 control, but now that's being postponed, and Rumble is coming back. So by the time any of you are hearing this in the audio recorded version, Rumble will be back with the 6-man Rumble, which I am looking forward into jumping to, man. I can't wait to see how it plays out.
I got a question for you guys. Let's get back to speculation days, right?
Yeah.
So what do we think that bug was? Is it spawn problems? Is it what would cause them to back up 6v6 Iron Banner? Is it map issues? Is it spawns? Is it what's?
I would think it'd be spawns, because guys, how the hell are they going to do 6v6?
Almost has to be spawns, right?
How are they going to do 6v6 on Burnout? I mean, even though Burnout was 6v6, and
so don't put Burnout in the playlist. I mean,
no, but I mean, so many, like the only map that comes off the top of my head, no, 2 maps that I think will work well in 6s are Emperor's Respite and Vostok. The rest of the maps, I think, are too small for 6s. I mean, I don't know how they're going to pull this one off when you have 12 people on Endless Vale. I mean, on the B-Dom, it's going to be just I don't know, man. I think though, I think you're on. I think we're on something. It's a shit show
with the spawns, because they don't necessarily say a bug. They say a late breaking issue, and I think the late breaking issue is people got pissed about the spawns in Rumble from before, and it was like, wait a minute, if we go 6v6, these spawns are even more atrocious. And when this is supposed to be this event, this, if you want to call it an end game activity that comes around every once in a while,
all right, so
we can't actually have crap spawns.
We got a bunch of people in chat saying that they did say that it had to do with when teams got to a score, everybody got kicked. That there was a score. So everybody got, when you got to a certain score, everybody got Andy
error with 6v6 playtest.
I didn't see that, so thanks, chat. That's awesome. Yeah,
DSM Greg, thank you.
There's a bunch of people that put it in there. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you guys.
But yeah, I mean, that sucks. If that was the case, they can't have that.
I was looking forward to it, man, because I mean,
Matt Jones says they did say a bug. I thought I had heard a bug somewhere, or somebody tweeted that.
Yeah, I missed 6s.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
What do you say?
But how are they going to? I missed 6s, but I'm just wondering, how is it going to be on these maps? Because remember, they built these maps for 4s.
It's going to be Mayhem, baby.
I thought 6. Listen, I'm probably going to love it. More people to kill, that's fine with me. But I'm thinking, though, is that going to worsen team shooting? Because right now, team shooting, to me, doesn't seem that bad with the meta right now. But then you throw 6s where you're going to have 6 people holding hands.
There's still maps that you can play 6s. I mean, there's so many
stock.
There's a bunch of copy maps from D1.
Midtown might be all right, man. I think you could.
Midtown.
Right?
But even then, like the ones that they
Shores, I mean, there's a bunch of them that you could.
But even then, the ones that they reimagined, like if we take Distant Shores, yeah, it's Shores of Time, but it's smaller. It looks like it, but it really is smaller. You can run from, no, dude, you could run from A to C way faster than you could in this one.
You can.
Right, I'm saying the map itself is smaller. You know what I mean? Same thing with Burnout too. Everything's a little bit like when Control came up on.
But
Burnout,
I wanted that map to be smaller, though. I wanted.
I like that map too, but. I think it's gonna be fun. Let's put it that way.
So too.
Yep. And then I bet as DLC comes out, they'll probably start making more maps specifically for 6s. You know what I mean?
All right. Agreed.
Yep. All right. I think that's it for news, guys. You got anything else? I think we kind of covered everything that we want to go over this week.
Just real quick, a lot of people in chat just kept talking about we want to see a Horde mode. What about you guys? Do you guys want to see like a Prison of Elders, a Challenge of Elders type thing come back?
It was fun. I mean, it definitely was fun. I mean, when you were grinding to get those level 34 items in year 1, I mean, that was what you did, right? I think it'd be neat. I mean, I think it'd be cool. What's the one mission you run on the Osiris adventure where it has that, where it's like the waves coming? Something like that would be cool, I think.
I was never a Horde mode fan. I got bored of it so fast. I just wasn't.
Like my 2 good old friends from my old clan. For my clan now, Rezo, Expat and Falico. I mean, every week we would spend hours trying to kill Skolas, and then we'd be so burnt with each other, be like, all right, guys, I'll see when Destiny 2 comes out. And then we make the joke, like 2 days later, be like,
but Skolas wasn't really a Horde mode, though.
No, hold on. Leading up to Skolas, you had to do 5 5 rounds of Horde mode. Then you get to Skolas. You know what I mean?
Right.
And those were pretty long. I mean, like, to be frank, I want a new raid. I don't want another raid lair. You know what I mean? That's my personal, But we're probably not going to get a full-blown raid until the next fall DLC, Now, granted, I love the raid lair. I love it. But I really want a new raid lair. And I'm kind of missing that not the Challenge of Elders, the Prison of Elders. Like, the Challenge of Elders got old kind of quickly because it was one boss, 3 rounds. Prison of Elders, to me, was fun because it was kind of long because you had each round and you didn't know whether it was Trickle and Catapult or Small Arms and Grounded or something like that. Each round, you're like, what's it going to be now?
Right.
You get to Skull.
Switch your loadout quick.
Yeah, switching everything around like crazy. Right. I'd love to have the Prison of Elders or like something like that. A bunch of people were saying it should be in the, I think Professional Ted in chat was like, they should put it like in the Infinite Forest.
Yep.
That was a big thing that I think they didn't utilize enough with Curse of Osiris was they built so many textures and places to go within the adventures, the story, and the Infinite Forest. But then the patrol area was small. You know what I mean? Yep. Like I was really hoping they would have taken all that real estate they built just for the story and then turned that into a
Sean, patrol. You know what's so sad about the Infinite Forest? I'm sure everybody out there does it anytime you get those strikes is, I've just leveled up my Warlock and my Hunter, and I just run through everything. I run and jump everything. I get to the door, bing. The only time you got to do is when you got to kill, what is it, the Daemons or Demons, whatever they're called.
Yep.
And half the time you only get maybe one of those one of those sections every time. And other than that, you're just flying through, and it's just a waste.
Yeah.
So, if they put the Horde mode or something, or even like right now how we have the Nightfall cards, where we can put those modifiers on. If they put that into the Infinite Forest and said, okay, do an Infinite Forest run. It may only take you 10 minutes, but go for a high score. Kill every enemy in it. That would have been cool if they did that, but obviously that's just...
Nightfalls are fun again. The new loot is good. The weapons are good. But I didn't grind last week's Nightfall to try to get the exotic ghost shell. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. The perks in it, I think, I would have liked to have seen better perks on an exotic shell that I'm going to grind this Nightfall over and over. The sniper we got from the previous strike, I can't put that thing down. I love that thing, When they roll out the one with the hand cannon and the auto rifle, can't wait for those. But will I grind it to get the Sparrow, the other 2 Sparrows?
Yeah, not so much, no.
I'm just because a lot of it was devalued, I feel like, from Eververse. You know what I mean? If you notice, no one complains about Eververse anymore.
Nope.
But now that they're putting some of the loot you would get from her into the game, which is cool, it devalued it. You know what I mean? Like if I get I haven't gotten the new Monarchy Ghost Shell. I want it, but I don't care about it. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would care about it if Eververse never sold those types of cool looking things that I could, like I remember in Destiny 1 getting that cool ghost shell that no one else had. Like, hey, look what I got.
Can I get a space bus? Can I get a space bus?
Space
I mean, honestly,
can a Titan get a space bus?
Here's the funniest thing, right? My biggest disappointment with D2 is that the ships suck.
They do.
That's literally, honestly, like
there's a few good ones here and there.
There's so few though
compared to D1, man. Yes,
it's just the ships were so great. I just loved when you got an epic ship that was like rare and it was awesome. Because every time you're loading into a match, you're loading into a raid, you're loading into a strike, everybody sees your ship and they're like, "Holy crap! What ship is that? How'd you get that?" You know what I mean? It's like so miss epic. The Nano Phoenix. Yeah, dude, the space bus, the Nano Phoenix, the dead orbit ship, man. Like, come on, baby, I need some ships, man. Like, really, come on.
All right, well, let's move on here, guys. Let's move on here to our clan spotlight, part of the show where we spotlight a clan here. So if you're looking for a clan, this is a clan that is looking for some members. And if you think your clan has what it takes, you're looking for some new members, be sure, head over to our website. You'll see there's a form to fill out over there. You fill it all out, tell us all about your clan, and your clan may be spotlighted here on the show. Caleb, who do you got for us this week, man?
Yeah, so real quick, everybody, please do, if you want to have your clan spotlighted, go to our website and go to the clan section and fill out the form. It's the best way. It's the easiest way for me to read them. I'm the one that reads all these and makes a rundown and put them in. It's the easiest way to do it. You follow a form, you follow what the questions are, and then I can tell everybody what you think about those issues that we're asking you. And then I can support you to help bring more people into the community. So we've got this one's short and sweet, but and I'll explain in a second. So it's an Xbox One clan, and it's called the Left Behinds, which I think is kind of funny. It says, we're a clan that got left behind by old clans when they became inactive.
I love it.
We don't know anything about leaving and going being inactive, right? We currently have 49 members doing a variety of PvP and PvE activities. We have only been around a week, building an amazing community. So in a week, they have 49 members.
Pretty good.
And they're really, really active. We feel more like a family than most clans. We are always active and are willing to help less experienced guardians. That's huge. 49 clanmates at this time, looking to keep growing. The only requirement is be friendly and be ready to laugh and have a ton of fun. The contact on Xbox Live is MonkeyMo18. Monkey Mo, that's MO 18 on Xbox Live. Go hit them up if you're on the Xbox side and you're looking for people to play with. They look like they're really active. They're a lot of fun, and hey, that's what you want to do in this game. So go do it.
Yep. So go fill out that form on our website, theguardiansofdestiny.com. But all right, let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you involved and read your emails that we call Messages from the City. All right, well, don't forget you can email us feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com. And again, next week we are looking for your topics and suggestions to bring up at the Destiny Community Summit. Send them in to us. What do you think should be discussed there? But our first email this week comes to us from Ghost Bead Hunter. And he says, hey, K-Dub, sorry for the long email on this one, but it's my mission in life to make everyone like what I like. He says, anyway, Kimmy Cakes did a great video on Time to Kill recently where he discusses the benefits of a fast TTK like Call of Duty, how it favors reaction speed, easier to flank, critical hit matters less, fights end sooner, leaving opponent less time to run away, makes abilities and power ammo less important, etc. And the benefits of a slow TTK like Halo, favors precision and movement, chance to 180 turn and still win, rewards good tracking, allows for thinking mid-gunfight, acts as a lag buffer, etc. The point I want to make is that no radar in Destiny seems to have the best of both worlds. I can make an argument for each benefit listed above, whether it's favored in a fast TTK or a slow one. I'm excited and encouraged by some in the community like the Black Link and Aztec Cross really coming around and enjoying the new competitive playlist and trials. Thanks for everything you guys do. I look forward to your podcast every week. Top Tree Arcstrider, Ghost Bead Hunter. Well, Ghost, thanks for sending that in, man. And I did. Did you watch the video? I watched Kimmy Cake's video, actually. I think Swain had tweeted it out and recommended people watch it. And I did. And, man,
I love
broke
Kimmy
it down,
Cake
man.
stuff.
Yeah, he broke it down. But what do you guys think?
About the no radar?
Agree with this email 100%.
Yeah.
Of the radars you're talking about.
Yep.
The no radar.
Well, the whole thing, the no radar, but with the TTK the way that it is, you still have a chance to either A, flank, like, because instead of just team shotting everything, you have a chance to flank, come around, surprise somebody. If you can get them, you get them. They still, on the same, at the same token, have a chance to escape if they're good enough to escape and get out of there. But so it goes to, again, play style, and then and how smart you are with the engagements. Everything in Destiny has always been about how you frame an engagement when you go in on somebody, right? Yeah. And if you go in the right way, you're going to get a kill. If you don't, they have a chance to escape. That's the difference with the TTK with Destiny versus the CODs of the world. And that's why I don't want the TTK to get too quick. But the no radar is a perfect balance of the TTK and still, getting a jump on somebody or being able to escape. Or I agree with this 100%.
Yep.
Because how much would we like it, like in COD? Because I played a lot of Call of Duty, especially Black Ops 2. That was my favorite. But there was no Blobs Deuce. There was no get turned on or get owned. It was whereas in Destiny, if the guy's got better aim, especially in D2 with a little bit of a longer time to kill, I've had people turn on me, and if they got a better aim with their Vigilance wing than I do, you know what I mean? They're gonna turn and waste me, and then I got owned.
Yep.
I personally, I think the time to kill is fine. It's okay if they're bringing things up to compete with it or to make other things competitive within it to make it feel like it's maybe a little bit shorter, or bring it closer to Destiny 1. That's fine. So leave the time to kill same. Just bring everything up so it feels like it's Destiny 1. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Let's see. Next email comes to us from Borgertron. I keep wanting to read that as Boogertron, but I know it's not. Borgertron.
So everybody just knows, just so you know, I always try and put the most difficult names for Mark to read to see
Borgertron.
I've been doing this for all 3.5 years, and he's yet to get one wrong. So I just got to tell you.
It says, hey guys, I wanted to ask you about what you think should be done with the colony. It says the colony is one of the only new exotics which is genuinely exotic. It's unique and fun to use, but is becoming a menace in PvP, especially since the update changing how power ammo is distributed in the game. I know it can be escaped by running, jumping, but there are many times when someone has blindly fired it twice into a room and the spiders have chased you down for what can seem like an eternity. My thought was that each spider insect should reduce its damage output the further it has to chase you down. He says down to a certain base level damage. I think this would keep the unique element of the weapon, but also reducing the spam usage of it. He says people should have to aim it. I wanted to know what you guys thought about this idea. Thanks for what you guys are doing. Love it. Listening to the show each week. Borgertron. P.S. Titan Master Race.
I don't think they should do a thing to it. I have noticed Colony, to me, this is me personally, from my play experience, and I mainly play Warlock, I can get away from them easily, or easier now than I could in the past. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because just he's buffed up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And, yeah, like people do.
You're Warlock skating the hell out of there.
You know what, Sean? I think I've dealt with it a lot this week because of Mayhem. So it was just a lot of the matches you go in, there was always like that one colony guy, and you just constantly hear it going off. Spiders are all over the place. But that's Mayhem. Like that's the point. I only played a few competitive or not competitive.
I don't
quick
find
play
it
matches this week.
Competitive I don't find it in PvP.
So I haven't really played enough to really know if it's there or to encounter it yet.
But like if you're in the middle of the room and it has nothing to climb up, just jump straight up in the air. And it has nowhere else to go. Granted, on something like Midtown or like around B-Dom, when you're in that room, that thing's going to get you. But if you're in an open thing where you could jump straight up, just glide up in the air. Like that thing will run up the wall and just go away from you.
The Warlock says glide up in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
You.
Okay. So Titan, catapult yourself up in the air. You know what I mean?
It is a great weapon. I see Mystic in the chat. She says she loves the colony in PV, and it is awesome. The colony is one of the coolest guns I think in the game, definitely. Let's see. Final email. This one comes to us from Viper Jock, and he says, "Hey guys, I had an idea for what Bungie could do to cut down on the folks dropping out of matches or strikes due to not wanting to play a certain game mode or map. What I thought would be a good idea was to show the players what's coming up next in terms of map and mode, and be able to vote yes or no for each. Love you guys in the show. Thanks for keeping me up to date on what's going on in one of my favorite game worlds. Kind regards, Viper Jock, playing all three classes." And I mean that's something. I mean, Call of Duty does that.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Love it in Call of Duty. Yeah,
we talked about this. Same thing in not Fortnite, but what's
I don't know. What that just was
Overhyped.
Overwatch. Thank you. My goodness sakes. Same type of deal. We talked about this, man, probably a month ago. We had a similar type of email about this type of thing. We were saying absolutely give people a vote. You know, whether it be map or game mode.
Yeah.
Right. Or both.
I'd say just, start off. Remember, this is Bungie. Got to go a little slow. So start off with one small thing because we don't want to throw out too much. Start off with maps. Let us choose the map. You know what I mean? Because do you remember that T-shirt we
First
saw?
light every time.
Oh my God, dude!
Guess what? You're gonna get one vote.
Give me First Light. I'll be voting every time, baby.
If they do a remake of Bastion or First Light, I will be in heaven. My two favorite maps.
Come on, man, give me it, man. You can't tell me that tank wasn't in that mission for some reason, man, in the campaign.
Yeah, but First Light, I mean, like, I didn't even use the vehicles on First Light. I would just run down the hall. I love that map, man. Same thing with Bastion too.
Yep. You know what it was? I think about First Light for me was just I love the moon as a space. Like just recently, I went back and I was just watching like some old videos of Destiny, and I was like, man, the moon was just the best. That first time you ever you guys remember back in the beta, and for an hour or two, and they unlocked the moon, and I remember my mind was just blown at the skybox. Like, look at this! It's incredible. You can see the Earth and the space station, and you just look off.
You can see Mars up there too. Actually,
yeah,
you know what's funny? I talk crap about that map, but it's literally the only map that I ever went flawless on.
Really?
Oh, really?
Nice.
First Light.
And because you have to still have to get a certain amount of kills. It's not just don't die.
Yeah, just don't die.
And I think I was 20-0 on that map, man. One time. It was the only time I ever went flawless.
Bring back combined arms. He says in the chat, man. I'm with you. Combined arms.
Well, and the thing that we were saying about the voting too, it's definitely got to be map, because as they bring back other game modes and we have a choice of game modes, and I think. I absolutely think there should be a vote on maps. I think that would be brilliant. Yep.
Well, if the rumors are true that we are going to the icy caps of Mars in this next DLC, that might be a reason to bring back some of the a remake of. I don't know. Do you ever play Blind Watch? I used to make the joke, like, you ever play on Blind Watch and actually wish you were blind? Before they moved, because if you spawned on one, I think it was ADOM. Was it ADOM or CDOM? If it was Control and you spawned on one side, you were screwed unless you took that other spawn side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love that map. Bastion.
Yeah, I think C was the bad one. I think A was the good one. A was the one that had the walls around it, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. You guys are making me want to just fire up Destiny 1 now. Man.
Love that map, by the way.
Yeah. Blind Watch.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there, guys. Don't forget, like we said, next week, both Peanut Butter and Toast will be here from WTF Game Nation. Be sure to tune in. We're going to be having a great chat with those guys. If you've never heard of them or seen them before, check them out. You can find them on Twitch. WTF Game Nation. They're the guys that we ran the raid and raid layer with. Sean, you stream with them pretty much every week, right? Don't you do the raid with them?
They do, yeah. They're the coolest guys. They raid nonstop. They do educations. And they love this game.
I'll be jelly next week.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly, yep.
And toast.
Butter.
With toast.
Yeah, with toast. You'd be the jelly, yeah.
But they, like I said, email us, feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com. Let us know in terms of the Destiny Community Summit what you think the big things coming out of that should be, what kind of conversations you think the community should be having, because we want to talk about that next week. So send those in to us, and we'll be talking about it with those guys. As well as, who knows? I mean, we were talking at the beginning of the show, maybe a trailer this week? I don't know. I mean, everybody's really fingers crossed, possibly.
It's got to be happening soon, man.
I think they're going to wait till the summit next week, man. That's what I think. But
I think so too.
We'll see. Other than that, don't forget, follow us on Twitter at Guardians of D. Big thank you to everybody over on YouTube. Thank you guys here for tuning in. We'll have the link in the show notes. So if you guys want to tune in live next week, it'll be on Sean's YouTube channel, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to just see the video version of the show, you can find it on Sean's channel. Sean, is it going up last week? Did you put it up on Tuesday or Wednesday? I didn't see.
This archives right after we're done with it.
And you put it right up.
So
okay, cool.
It takes about a half hour. Yeah. Once we finish streaming, it archives it right to YouTube and then hits Sandbox. So
there you go. So be sure to sub to Sean's channel, and you can catch the video version of the podcast. And like we said, also check out our website, theguardiansofdestiny.com. You can find the link to the Clan Spotlight over there. And another thing too, if you don't want to email us, there is a great thread over on the Destiny Reddit page that they have posted up over there about the community summit. They're taking all kinds of feedback and everything over there. You'll find it pinned at the top. Go over there and talk some feedback too. I think what's been great this week, ever since this announcement of this event, is seeing people constructively talk about the game.
Right.
You know, lately up to this point, it's just been all just everybody crapping on the game and all that. And now you're seeing many of these voices coming out constructively talking about systems in the game and how we can make it better. Not that it wasn't there before, but it seems like there's much more civil discussions happening. At least that's my perspective. I don't know if there's, I'm sure there's people out there just mad, but it seems like it's great that we're having that. All right. Well, any other plugs you guys want to throw out there?
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you as always for making us a part of your week. However you're tuning in, whether it's through Podbean, through iTunes, through YouTube, whatever. Thank you so much. And with that, we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
Oh my god. Kid him stabbing himself in the shoulders. Nice.
I think that was scissors. I didn't know.
Good show, guys.
Good show, guys.
Yeah, thank you, YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Appreciate it.
They got to give us a trailer soon, man.
They got it.
They really
I hope so, man.
I'm praying next week or something, like before we, I don't know, like before the summer. They did it before the summer, maybe,
let's think about it. Let's think about it for a second. So if May 8th, which I think is actually a correct date, by the way, then we're almost exactly a month out. When do they typically drop trailers? Is it a month out? Is it 3 weeks? Is it 2 weeks? When do we typically? It's usually closer than it's sooner. It's not as far out as a month. It's usually only a couple weeks, isn't it? Or is it
Destiny House of Wolves trailer? Let me see.
I think May 8th is accurate for.
All right, so that trailer hit. Let's see, what date was that? That was April 13th, 2015, and it came out May 16th, I think.
So it was a month.
About a month, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're due for something, yeah. And then they released another trailer May 14th. Yeah, you know, they're probably going to start trickling stuff out of it because I'm looking at there's multiple House of Wolves. There's 2 House of Wolves trailers for from Destiny Game, the YouTube page called Destiny Game, and actually there's another one. 1, 2. There's multiple. Yeah, you know what? They're going to start trickling stuff out of it soon. Hopefully,
well, hang on. What day was that day when that trailer came out?
Oh shit!
What day of the week? What day of the week was it?
Well, the first one, it's got 2.6 million views. Came out April 13th, 2015.
What day was that?
I have no idea.
That's what I want to know. Is what day, is there a specific day that they drop them all? Like, is it always on a Tuesday? Is it always on a Tuesday? You know what I mean? Like what?
Well, you know what? We got the Age of Triumph. Wait, when Age of Triumph hit, which was a Tuesday, we got our Destiny 2 first trailer. When did we get the Taken King trailer? What day was that? I don't know. Tomorrow's Tuesday. You never know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Saying.
I bet next week, though, probably.
I'm thinking next week, man. I think that's...
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, although, I don't know. We'll see, man. It's coming soon. Let's put it that way. Very, very soon we're going to be talking about it for sure.
Yep.
But all right, stream. I'm going to kill it, guys. Guys over on YouTube, thank you so much here for tuning in.
Later, everybody.
Again,
Thanks, guys.
We'll be
Love
back
you
next
all.
week. And, yeah, we'll catch you later.